I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike. Here
Welcome
we are
back.
again.
You were a little delayed
So,
there.
hmm? Say
You were a
say
little
again?
delayed. You were a little delayed on
Oh,
your I'm Mike. You
well,
always
I'm a
you
little
always
slow.
wait a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little slow. I
Yeah.
can't help it. It's age. It's age.
Anyways, so today with, Memorial Day being this week, 4th of July, not too far away, all the other summer celebratory holidays.
Right.
Um we thought it would be fun to talk about. Obviously, we know, and we have a few international listeners.
We
I don't
do.
know. I don't know how much you guys listen to us, but they're international. So yeah, it would be fun. I feel like everyone kind of knows like how Americans though at this point celebrate different our different holidays,
Yeah.
especially like the summer holidays more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, you know, like everyone knows that America, we like cookouts, we like any reason to throw some food on the grill, have drinks, have a pool
Right.
party. Um, with Memorial Day being today, while
Well,
we're filming this, I
right.
took I took a I took a walk past the main big pool area here where they have all the grills and the cabanas and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And man, it was packed out there today.
Yeah, we
Like,
we we were out earlier and we were driving past that apartment complex over by where they're building the BJ's.
mhm.
No one else listening to this knows what we're talking about, but it doesn't matter. Um,
It's an apartment
that
complex
that
by BJ's.
yeah, that one there. When we were going past, their pool was packed, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And everyone was grilling. They were, they had all their coolers there, like celebrating. And which, lately I've been noticing that it's just been, it's just so hot outside anyways that that's just
yeah,
something. Sitting by a pool is just something free for people to do. Like
yeah,
that's just real. Besides staying in the house, you really can't do anything outside. Even going for
yeah,
my little walk, I was like, man, this humidity. I came back sweating.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We when we got back, we took Cooper for a walk, and it was nicer when we took him for a walk. To be honest,
Because
there's
the
a little
sun was
breeze in
down.
that because the sun went down. We had
Mm,
those Florida storms go ahead and move through, and so it took down some of the humidity, which was nice. And there was a little breeze. It was nice.
yeah, yeah. No, that is nice. Um, but yeah, in America, we like fireworks. We like fireworks over here, which I guess. uh, anyways, yeah, we like fireworks in America.
Yep.
We like all of that stuff, but I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about how other countries do their little celebrating as well.
Yeah.
Um, So I pulled up a list, but it's kind of hard because at the same time, and people can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I
Right.
probably am. But I don't think a lot of other countries celebrate like America, just things like America does, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if other countries, which I should have looked that up, but I don't think other countries do stuff like Memorial Day type celebrations.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a good question. I don't know because Memorial Day obviously is to celebrate, um,
Fallen
like
soldiers.
fallen soldiers, right?
Hmm.
I was trying to think the right way to put it. Which is funny because there's also always like a lot of confusion because people will be like, "What do you say on Memorial Day? Happy Memorial Day." It's kind of weird, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
It's like, is it happy? But then there's
Yeah.
a confusion between like Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and it's different. Like I know a lot of military vets. If you like wish them anything on Memorial Day, they're like, "No, it's not really no, you know."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it is
but we
funny how
celebrate with like cookouts.
Yeah. And it's
Oh,
funny because
Memorial
like
Day.
Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, right? They're the big
Hmm.
three. I'll throw another one in there that I read and I thought, oh, I guess that is the same kind of holiday, Father's Day, which falls in there too.
Oh yeah.
Um, right in between Memorial Day and 4th of July. But it's like we celebrate all of them exactly the same way. Fireworks, grilling, beer,
Yeah.
maybe some cornhole, that kind of thing. Like it's funny.
Like it's a known thing. I kind of wanted to go to the beach this weekend, and it's just such a known thing, especially when you live somewhere like Florida. Like, oh no, don't want to go to the beach
Yeah,
this weekend. It's probably gonna be
yeah,
packed because
yeah. No,
that's
we'll
just
go. We'll go next weekend. Yeah,
nah. Memorial Day, everyone's gonna be there.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
just. I think as Americans, we look for any excuse to celebrate something, especially with throwing something on the grill, having a drink. Like we're over here
yep,
celebrating Cinco de Mayo. Nobody,
yeah,
nobody that's celebrating Cinco de Mayo knows anything
yeah,
about that. But
yeah, yeah.
oh, okay.
And you know
Like
what's
so, let's
funny?
make tacos and drink margaritas.
Yeah.
That's what we
You know
do.
what's funny is I've heard that like in Mexico, Cinco de Mayo isn't as big of a deal as like we make of it here, which is like
That's
kind of
funny.
funny. It's more of
Hmm.
like you'll see all the commercials for the tequilas and all that,
Yeah.
or like Dos Equis or for Cinco de Mayo, and it's not as big a deal back in Mexico, which is
All the
it's funny.
Mexican restaurants here, they're like, "Hey guys, get 3 tacos for a discounted price, Cinco de Mayo. Like, let's
Yeah,
celebrate."
yeah, half price margaritas, you know.
Yeah, so, I think that's the one thing that I noticed, like, trying to research a little bit, is that the examples it's bringing up isn't like Memorial Day celebrations, which made me
Yeah,
think, wow, do us as Americans just not over celebrate, but, we're just always looking for the excuse to
yeah.
do something.
Yeah, no, because
Um,
I know some of the other countries do have like a lot of holidays in that they celebrate. So it's not they don't celebrate holidays. It's just I guess. Well, go ahead. You have some other stuff.
So it came up with Egypt because it just gave me basically a list of like countries and what their celebration example, I guess.
Hmm.
So for Egypt, it just says birthday celebrations can involve dancing and singing popular songs, symbolizing life and growth. I was like, okay, I guess that's just like a normal birthday celebration. That's kind of like what we all do.
Yeah.
Um, in Nigeria, it says birthdays are often marked with large gatherings involving 100 or more guests and serving dishes like jollof rice. Like, over 100 guests for a birthday sounds stressful. Throwing a birthday
Wow.
party in general is stressful, but for it to be known in your country that you're just having that a birthday is like a big thing. Imagine being one of those people that doesn't like birthdays. Like I know I love birthdays. I love my birthday. I love other people's birthdays. I love celebrating birthdays. But I know there's a very large population of people that are like, I don't really care about my birthday. Nah, I probably won't
Yeah.
do much. Like maybe we'll go out to eat. I don't really care about it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just another day. Imagine being that person in Nigeria not wanting. Maybe you just
Right.
grow up like
You're like, oh, why are these 100 people at my house right now? I don't really want all
I'm
that.
over the jollof rice. No more jollof rice.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
um It says so Japan, and so it's giving me a lot of birthdays is what I'm actually noticing as I read this. Um,
so the thing I was looking at because I was looking up some information on this as well, and I was seeing like I got different results. You got more about like the actual holidays or the actual celebrations, and I got information back on like do they grill like we do for holidays? And it
mhm.
says I guess Australians are the most like us. They grill everything like pretty much the same way we do. Um, which I thought was interesting. The whole throw another shrimp on the Barbie. You ever heard that? It's
Oh
like
yeah, that
yeah,
makes
I'd
sense because of
I'd say it with
Outback.
yeah, yeah. And says, let's see, European grilling traditions may differ. They still embrace outdoor grilling, open fires. They do more than coal gas grills. Finland, for example, is more familiar with open fires, so they grill on open fires.
So, so apparently the United Kingdom does Remembrance Sunday, which is held on the Sunday nearest to November 11th, the day the armistice ending World War One was signed.
Which
Not
is
armistice, armistice,
armistice, yeah. Which
armistice.
is
Sorry, guys.
which is
I
also
know there's some
the
people that are
day,
gonna hate that I just messed up that word.
yeah, which is also the day we celebrate as Veterans Day is November 11th,
Oh,
and
really?
that's why we celebrate Veterans Day. Then I believe,
So we
yeah,
celebrate it as Veterans Day, and they celebrate Remembrance Sunday. They call it
yeah,
Remembrance Sunday.
remember it's Sunday. Yeah, it's funny
Australia.
because
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go on to the next one. Say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's funny because we celebrate a lot of our like those types of holidays on Mondays. Memorial Day is always the last Monday in
Oh
May,
yeah.
and Labor Day is always the first Monday in September? I think is that it, something like that. But somehow 4th of July has remained on the 4th, no matter I mean, if it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. That's when you get that 4th of July holiday. Don't know why they haven't adjusted that.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's true because it's not like the well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say like a day like Memorial Day makes sense just to be like around a certain time because there's no real date that you could slap on it.
yeah. I
You
think
know
it
what I
used to
mean?
be. I think it used to be on the 30th because they used to refer to, and I could be completely wrong on this. This could be one of my incorrect facts, but um, I think they used to refer to it as 30th of May. Just like we call it
Oh,
4th of July, I think they used to call that 30th of May. And I think at some point they changed
they're
it so
like
that it
doesn't
was
ring the
like
same.
less. Yeah, it doesn't roll up. No, no, that's it.
30th of May. Nah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
4th of July, like you could slap that on a t-shirt and it looks, it
yeah,
fits. 30th of
yeah,
May? No, I don't like it as much. I know exactly why they got rid of it.
yeah.
You can't put that on a baseball hat. Um so it says Australia and New Zealand celebrate Arctic Day. It's celebrated on April 25th, commemorating the lives lost during the Gallipoli campaign.
Oh,
Okay, so see, they kind of celebrate, you know. I wonder now, the question to look up would be how they celebrate it. If they
yeah,
celebrate it, with some burgers and hot dogs on the grill.
yeah,
Which I also,
yeah.
you know what,
Exactly.
actually, that's what I would like to look up too. Do other countries even eat hot dogs? Because I feel like that is also a very
That's a
American
good.
thing.
Well, it's so. I mean, if you think about like bratwurst, though, bratwurst
Oh, like it's similar?
is yeah, bratwurst is similar, and that's I think that's German, German or
Yeah, that's
Polish. I don't
German.
know. They both have like sausages
Oh,
similar to that. They
Polish
just
eat
don't call them
sausages.
hot dogs. Maybe we're the only ones that call them hot dogs. I think you think of them as an American thing too because of the whole 4th of July, the hot dog eating contest. That's another aspect of
Oh,
like those traditions. It's so strange,
solely America. Solely
Yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah. Nobody else is like, how many of these bratwursts can you eat at one time?
Or maybe they are. Maybe we just don't get, we don't get that news station. Okay. I know I'm butchering all of these names though. So if I
Yeah,
am and you hate it, just ignore it and move past it, okay? I'm
yeah,
American. I don't know how to pronounce them. That's it.
right.
Okay, so it says Netherlands, they celebrate Doden Herdenken. Doden Herdenken. Can you put it on the screen? If you could like put it over the screen. Doden Herdenking, and they can see why it's difficult for me to pronounce
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
How would you pronounce it if you were me?
You should ask Google how to pronounce that. I always think that's funny when you ask Google how to pronounce something because if you're not pronouncing it right, how does it know what you're saying? And yet it usually gets it right. So haven't figured that
Unless I
one
just
out.
really know how to spell it.
Yeah,
Um, so this is held on May 4th, which we celebrate something else here in America on May
yeah,
4th.
that's right. That's right.
May May the 4th be with you. Star Wars
Yeah,
Day.
yeah, that's right. Not to be confused with
Meanwhile,
Revenge of the Sixth.
Meanwhile, the Netherlands is celebrating May 4th as a day of remembrance for all those who died during World War II.
Oh
So this
wow.
has a little bit more meaning to
Yeah, theirs is more
Meanwhile, we're over
meaningful.
here dressed as
We're
stormtroopers,
just yeah, we're
Jedi
just
robes
celebrating.
on.
Yeah, we're just celebrating those who died in the war against the Empire.
So bad. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
when the
that's
Netherlands does that. They celebrate their fallen soldiers on May 4th from World. But you know what's interesting? Well, I guess yeah, okay. I guess like America just mostly like celebrates it as a whole. Like
yeah.
any soldier who died during any war is celebrated on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But these other countries, they have it. What I'm noticing is they're celebrating it for like very specific wars. Like May 4th is for specifically World War II.
Right.
Um, okay, so then Canada, moving on to Canada, they have Remembrance Day, which is observed on November 11th, which commemorates the end of World War One. So Canada celebrates Remembrance Day as well, just like the UK.
Yeah, which
And
is not
then,
surprising because I think they used to be a. Where are they still? I don't know. They used to be a like a what would you call it? Like a territory of the United Kingdom.
oh really? Canada?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, so they just all celebrate that. That's
yeah.
interesting.
Before they became a U.S. state.
Pretty much. Um, that's interesting
Uh,
then because then they also a lot of them they speak French over there. So they're a territory of the UK, but then so many of them also speak
yeah,
French and
yeah. I
don't have
think
British
I
accents.
don't know. That's I should know more about that, but I don't. Like why? Maybe it was originally settled by French. I don't know. It's a good question. Well, how about this though? Memorial Day here was originally known as Decoration Day.
Decoration Day
Yeah,
before it
but
was
it's
Memorial
always
Day. What's the? I don't even
yeah.
understand why it would
I
be
don't know what the
Decoration Day.
significance of yeah. I don't unless it means like decoration is in terms of like military decoration.
That's declaration.
No, decoration is in medals. Giving them medals that's referred to as decoration.
Oh.
A, if you're talking about a decorated soldier, there's somebody who's received a lot of medals. I don't know why that's funny.
Just
Uh,
because like I would see that's another thing in my head where I see it like, oh well, no, yeah, no brainer why they switched the name. That doesn't make sense. Decoration Day. Someone like me wouldn't understand that.
yeah.
Okay, well it says, let's see. So Israel has Yom Hazikaron, 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 which is observed on
Oh,
Iyar 4th in the Hebrew calendar. What's ER?
uh,
It's a day of
ER.
ER 4th, maybe May. Maybe it's another May 4th,
Maybe.
which is a day of remembrance for Israel's soldiers and civilians who died in defense of the country. So basically, there are other countries who celebrate fallen soldiers. This one seems like the
Yeah,
most broad one, like the US does,
yeah.
but a lot of them.
Well, so actually, I was wrong on decoration. What it's talking about? It's talking about um, it was started by I guess they would decorate the graves of the fallen soldiers, which actually makes a lot more sense, with like flags and flowers maybe. And it started with the Civil War. I think it
Hmm.
started I think it started in the North, maybe it's saying here, during the Civil War. So that's, yeah. So there we go.
Oh, okay. So, oh wow, yeah, they're a lot more subdued than Americans in their celebration, if you could say that.
Yeah.
So it says for Remembrance Day, which it's most of the Commonwealth nations, so the UK, Canada, Australia, they all celebrate Remembrance Day, which is to commemorate the end of World War One and honor all those who have died in service. This often includes a 2 minute silence at 11 a.m., wreaths laid at cerotaphs, and special church services.
Yeah.
So there are a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, so somewhat that goes on here. Like there was, I saw the
Yeah,
ceremony of the laying of the wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown today, which
yeah.
was
I
always,
saw that
that's
on the
something to
news.
see. Yeah.
Hmm.
And but then there's the other aspect of it, okay, let's go cook some burger. By the way, just to be clear, I did have a brat and a burger today, so
I ate burgers
that
all
was
weekend. I
that
was
was
saying
grilled.
yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, wow, I have only eaten cheeseburgers because we grilled out
Oh wow,
Saturday. We
yeah,
grilled out Saturday and then we had leftover burgers. So I had like a burger for lunch and then later on in the day I had a leftover burger for dinner. And then yesterday we went
because
over
why
to
not?
Brandon's house because like it's already made. Like I don't have to make
Right,
anything. I'm
right.
gonna just heat up this little cheeseburger. And then yesterday we went over to Brandon's house. He also made burgers. So I had another
Wow.
burger. It's like,
So we
wow,
got
I'm eating burgers all weekend.
we got these ones at. Did you ever see Wild Fork? It's on 1792 down
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we went in there.
Winter
And
Park.
by the way, check that place out. It's pretty cool.
I've been wanting to because it's
Yeah.
all just meat, right?
Yeah, it's meat. Well, they have meat. They have some prepared meals. They have like mashed potatoes, prepared like frozen mashed potatoes. They have a bunch of stuff there actually.
Do they have seafood?
Um, yeah, they have seafood. Yeah, really,
Ooh.
really like a huge selection of stuff. But we got these ones that were they were three different meats. They were brisket, I think prime rib, and I forget that. I should know, but I don't. But we grilled those up, and oh man, they were amazing. I mean, they were like some of the, people make a big deal about like, well, we've gotten those Wagyu burgers and they're good. This was like much better. It was just really good.
And sometimes you can't even really tell. Like even sometimes if you tell me like, oh, that's a Wagyu burger,
Yeah,
to me a lot of
yeah.
times like it just tastes like a regular
Well,
burger. I think
because the
I
thing
make
is,
pretty
it's
good
all.
work burgers,
The
like
thing is, it's
season wise.
it's all. That's what I was gonna say. It's all in how you prepare it, how you season it, how you cook it.
Yeah.
You know, And now, if
Hmm.
it's good meat, I think that also really helps. Like this was clearly really good meat, so we enjoyed that. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
so
Or you said
highly
brisket.
recommend checking that out. I gotta ask Jay for sure, but it was brisket. I think it was brisket, prime rib, and it was three different meats in this. And it was really they lived up to the hype. And you know what I was surprised by
Hmm.
with that Wild Fork? The prices are actually like very reasonable. Like I expected that because of the kind of store that it is. I thought, oh,
Like
this
a
is and
specialty
where it
butcher
is.
type store.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
thought, oh, this place is going to be like really expensive. The one thing they had that we were like, oh, we got to go back there and get some of that is they sold chicken breast, like uncooked chicken breast cubed.
Oh,
So if you're making it for like stir fry or something like that, like you just
yeah.
throw it in the pan. The nice thing about it, if it's cubed like that is if you want to take out a little bit to make something, you can take out just what you need. You don't have to like, okay, now I got to take out a whole chicken breast and thaw it and then dice it for what I'm doing, where, maybe you don't need that much. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool too. So yeah, check that out. That has
Yeah, I
nothing
have
to
been
do
wanting
with,
to. It's a great place to go get your meats for your cookouts for
right.
Father's Day. That's this coming up month.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Which is
right.
funny because you
Exactly.
don't, well, we already talked about that, but like you don't really do that for Mother's Day. That's like
Yeah.
strictly a Father's Day thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Father's Day.
I'm gonna figure out a new Father's Day tradition to start. I don't know what
Like,
it'll be.
I was gonna say like a special soup that you can make or like really
Yeah.
switch it up
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
from the grilling, like
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I'm going
Chinese food.
to yeah, yeah, exactly. Chinese food. No, just ham sandwiches and potato chips. That's gonna be the
That is
the
a really
Father's Day.
Father's Day meal anyways.
Yeah.
Bologna sandwiches for everyone.
Yeah. That's right. That would be a Chris Father's Day sandwich. Bologna sandwiches.
Oh, that's so funny. Bologna's the worst meat that you can really get. Besides,
Yeah.
like, what's that one? Spam. I've never had spam,
Spam.
but
Spam. You know what's
any
funny?
type of.
I remember having spam as a kid. Um, and it being like, it honestly it kind of tastes like ham. That's what it tastes like. It's
Mhm.
apparently made from I don't know what it's made from. Maybe that's part of the problem.
That's part of
But
the
then
problem
then
that
you
you buy it
you've
on the
seen those
shelf.
yeah, that's right. But you've seen those commercials for it where they're like they show them making like stir fry and them putting the spam in it. I'm like,
Tacos. The
yeah.
tacos look
It
amazing.
and I'm like, I kind of want to try that now.
I totally almost fall on the spam train, but then I remember like,
Yeah.
but it's also meat that's
Yeah.
like shelf stable, which just there's something
Yeah.
eats me out about it. It's like the Velveeta cheese, where I was like, man, where's the Velveeta cheese block? It's not in the
Yeah.
cold cheese area here.
Yeah.
And then the worker is like, oh, it's in aisle whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just on the bottom shelf in
That's
the
like,
aisle. Like it's
yeah,
cheese.
yeah. Should that be there? It's not cheese. It's a cheese product. Have you ever heard
That's
of
the issue.
this is like a Philadelphia thing. Have you ever heard of Scrapple?
I've heard the name before, but
Scrapple.
I couldn't tell you what it is. Isn't it
Look
like a mix of
look it
meats?
up. Look it up. It's like it's the scraps, I think. I think that's where Scrapple comes from. It's like the scrap meat from the pig maybe. Let me just ask my friend ChatGPT. But it's yeah, it's like a breakfast thing. It's like a breakfast
I
thing that they
I'm just
make.
not a mystery meat type of like even chicken. I can't eat like I see a lot of recipes that it'll be like, oh, take chicken thighs and put them, cook them in your pot and sear them
Oh,
and then put them in. I don't know. I just don't.
wow.
I'll use chicken breast for it. I will not use chicken thighs because I had it just
Yeah.
takes for me. I don't know if you're the same way, but like for me, I've used chicken thighs before and have been fine. But it also just takes one bad time of eating something like that. Like
Uh-huh.
one time that you eat chicken thigh and it's a little chewy and nasty and like the texture's just off that you're like,
Yeah.
I'm good with the chicken
And I think
thighs.
I think that's the problem with the chicken thighs because we get the HelloFresh meals and sometimes some of those meals they'll send you chicken thighs. And we've
Mhm.
had exactly that. And that's we were just talking about that the other day. We were saying like people say that chicken thighs are more flavorful than like chicken breast. But the problem for me isn't the flavor. It's because the flavor is whatever you season it with. But the
Yeah.
problem for me is that texture. And you get that bad texture of a piece of chicken thigh once, and you're like, nope, I'm done. I'm not
All I
even eating
remember
this.
about the chicken thigh. That's
Yeah.
all I
So
remember
so
about it.
here's this is what it's telling me Scrapple is made from. It's made from a mixture of pork products, cornmeal, and seasoning. The pork typically includes trimmings of the head, heart, liver, and other offal, which are boiled to create a broth. Cornmeal is added to the broth to make a mush, and then the meat is returned to the pot with seasonings like sage, thyme, and pepper. So, yeah, so it's made from organ meats and trimmings from the head of the pig, along with some cornmeal. I've eaten scrapple. I actually remember it not like being bad
I'm good
tasting.
on the Scrapple.
But now I may have to go purge after after this podcast, thinking about that, even though I'm sure none of it is still in my, or maybe it is still in my system. Yeah, that's
I'm just not. I've had, you
oh,
know
it's
what?
a
I have
tradition. It's a
had.
Pennsylvania Dutch tradition, so it's not just a Philadelphia
Sounds
thing.
about
It's a
right.
Pennsylvania Dutch thing. Yeah,
I've heard, actually, you know what? I've had before at a cookout. I've had chicken hearts. And I've
Okay.
seen chicken hearts in the grocery stores before. A lot of like this little Spanish, like the little markets, like grocery stores. They have just packs of chicken hearts. Like it literally comes with like a styrofoam like
Yeah. Yeah.
thing of a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And as like gross as it sounds, because you see like they're like this big, like little
Yeah.
tiny things. And the grossest part about it is that it has little like artery thing opening on the side that you're
Sure.
just like, ugh.
It's a
Like
heart.
it's actually
Yeah.
it actually looks like a real heart. Hate
Yeah.
that part. But when you season it and then you throw them on the grill, they come off tasting like little breakfast sausages, which is
Wow.
the craziest thing
Yeah.
to be eating like a chicken heart and you're just
Yeah.
like, wow, it just tastes like a breakfast sausage. I'm just sitting here like back to back on these chicken hearts. Like this can't be this is not
Yeah.
what my body was built to consume.
Yeah. 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 There was no time when they were building my body that they said, okay, now you're going to eat the hearts of small birds.
Yeah, like this is not
That
what I
just
need to
doesn't
survive.
seem right.
But it wasn't bad. But I have had like, going I guess along with like the gross barbecue foods is oh my gosh, it's a Spanish thing. It's what's it called? Morcilla. Literally blood sausage
Oh,
is
yeah.
is pretty much, I don't know if it translates to blood sausage, but it that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And it's literally you take when they're making the sausage, you take all the meats and stuff and they mix it all together and then they literally take, I'm pretty sure it's pig's blood, and pour it into the
Yeah.
meat mixture, mix it all together, all wet and goopy, put it in
Pipe
the
it into that
sausage,
sausage casing.
pipe it into
Wow.
that sausage casing,
Ugh.
and then you just cook it up. I think it's so disgusting. I know that there's people that love it. Ooh, not for
Yeah.
me.
Blood
Not for me at
sausage.
all. Especially
Yeah.
knowing what something is. Like, if you
The
go to a barbecue and they have just a bunch of nasty foods like that, are you going to
yeah.
eat it to make the person, like, not feel bad?
No.
Or are you just going to be like, nah,
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
I ate before I came.
I mean, first of
Sorry.
all, anything that's got blood in the name, unless I'm a vampire, I'm avoiding it.
But if
You
I'm
know.
if I'm telling you like, oh here, try some of this sausage, it's morcilla.
Oh
You
well,
don't
then
know that it's
I'd be yeah, I'd be I don't know, okay, I'll try it, and then I'd find out later, and I'd go, you know, leave it with the scrapple.
right.
I
Like
don't
go
know.
ask for forgiveness for my sins. Like
Yeah, yeah. It is
this is
funny.
weird.
You think of some of that kind of stuff. Like I remember. Have you ever seen in the store where they sell the jars of pickled pig's feet?
Yeah.
Who's buying those? Like, and no offense to anyone who buys and enjoys pickled pig's feet. I just don't understand why it's a thing or how it's a thing. I just don't understand that.
That's so funny. I remember mom, she went to well, I think I was with her the one time. We went to lunch with um
Oh,
yeah, Miss
yeah,
Martha.
yeah,
And she's Hungarian, straight from Hungary. And yeah, she had a cow tongue sandwich
yeah,
where they literally take a cow tongue, because I don't know if you've ever seen a cow tongue, but it's huge.
yeah, yeah. I've
It's
seen it
like
in the
a
deli too. You'll see
yeah,
them in the deli, like
and you can
depending
get
on the
it
deli you go
literally.
to.
They'll
Yeah, they
slice it
slice it
like
like
deli
lunch
meat.
meat. Yeah, like deli meat. Yeah,
Disgusting. I
yeah,
just can't. Like that's something
yeah. I
that
know.
it's like straight
I feel
culture.
I feel like it's tasting me back. I just don't. I don't.
I think that's so. I just can't do that stuff. I don't
Yeah,
know, and I know that people probably would look at me and be like,
yeah,
"You're eating." I don't know. I don't even think I eat anything nasty. Like you're eating a
yeah,
salami sandwich. Gross. You know what salami is? Like I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe they think that's weird.
yeah,
Can't do the
yeah.
cow tongue
I mean,
sandwich.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can't do.
I think,
Can't do any of that.
I think it's all like, in how you're like, because that is like that's definitely a cultural thing, eating like all the different parts of the animal, eating the heart, all that. I think that comes from like maybe cultures where like food wasn't as plentiful as as here. So
So they're
like,
trying to
where we're
get
like,
everything out of it.
yeah, where we're like, I want my hamburger that's made from, the leanest part of
Ninety
the
ten.
meat.
Give me
Yeah, the
90-10
ninety
ground
ten.
beef.
Yeah. Part of the buffalo because it's a bison burger and
Yeah.
and I want my pure beef hot dogs and all that. And other cultures are like, yeah, I'll eat the feet off the chicken. I'm hungry.
Yeah, no, and
I mean,
I've heard that like a lot of like cultures they'll eat those things because they also say that it has like a good meaty flavor. So
yeah.
I remember years ago I was a part of a pig roast. Well, not like a part of it, but like I was involved in
Yeah.
I was involved
Tell
in
us more.
I was at the pig roast and
So you weren't part of it, you attended it,
I
is what you're saying.
attended.
You weren't so you weren't shoving the apple in his mouth or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I wasn't the one over the open fire. So, so, yeah, I attended a pig roast and they had what, like, you literally could buy just a baby pig. First of all, it was a baby pig. It was a young pig.
Oh, oh,
It wasn't like a big full grown pig. I think you have to pay more money for those probably, but it
sure.
was a younger pig, which, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
And they basically like it he cooks. He cooks, but then when he's done, like they were really like fighting over the pig nose
Oh, wow. Over the
because
nose.
they say that the pig snout, the pig nose, and like I think the ears or things like that are like it like tastes extra porky.
Oh. Well,
Like,
you
oh no,
remember
the
we
pig
used to
nose
get
extra porky taste.
remember we used to get
Ugh.
the pig ears for Cassie for the dog, the
For the
the
dogs,
dried
yeah.
ones, and
Uh-huh.
they used to go nuts over those.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
because I
I
guess
never
it
heard of
has
humans eating the pig ears or nose. Yeah,
fighting over it because it
that's
tastes
crazy.
like the most porky.
Yeah, the most porky. That's funny. I don't know why, but the most porky. That's funny. Like
Yeah.
that's something I'd never want someone to call me. The most porky.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm so particular on my like I'm not, yeah, I love a good barbecue, but if I'm at the pig
Yeah.
roast, like I'm having just the regular, give me just the regular part of the pig, and even
Yep.
then,
Some of that good pulled pork kind of shredded
eh,
meat out of him. Yeah.
and even then, like too much of that is just so fatty to me. I hate
Yeah.
getting
Well.
a fatty piece of meat will ruin my whole day of eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah. Well,
chewy
that
part.
goes back to the whole discussion of the chicken thighs. That's what you run into there. Like you get that one little kind of grizzly piece, and it's like, no, thank you.
What's your favorite cookout food? Like
It's tough.
steak, you could choose anything. Like if you could choose
Yeah.
to go to you could go to someone's cookout and they're gonna have like a bunch of stuff like steak.
What's gonna be my thing to go to? Is
Yeah,
that the question? I
yeah.
do like a really well grilled like chicken leg. You know what I mean? Like when they're done on
Oh
the
yeah,
grill and
yeah.
they're done just right and they have that good flavor from the grill and then I really do like those. People don't do those often though. You don't often go to a grill and they're doing chicken legs. It's usually like
Or just wings in general.
burgers, dogs. Yeah, true. Or wings.
I love wings,
And then obviously pulled
grilled
pork because
wings.
that's like the best. But that's less of a grilling thing, pulled pork.
I think somebody really has to be into the cookout to do like
Yeah.
the wings and all of that. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people just end up doing burgers. When I made burgers the other day, this is what I did. I have my little George Foreman because
Right.
we were going to the pool. So I was like, you know what? At first, I was just like, you know what? We could just order pizzas or whatever.
Right.
But then I was like, no, we can make burgers. Wrap them up, take a whole bunch of burgers because ground meat isn't that
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Buns not that expensive. Like I went to Aldi. I think I got a pack of 8 buns for $1 and change. Like bought a bunch of buns
Yeah.
of ground meat, like you spend way less than you'd spend on pizza. So, um, we mixed up the meat, and then I made them two at a time on my George Foreman. That George Foreman, and then I had the tin foil laying down, and I would do,
Oh, like
cheeseburger
layer them.
bun, and
Yeah,
then wrap them.
yeah,
Man, that
that's the way
George
to go.
Foreman, because when you wrap them like that too, it melts the cheese. It kind of steams the bun a little bit too.
Right, right.
So good. And
Nice.
that George Foreman makes them
Very
pretty
nice.
good and
Yeah,
so fast too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it
And
could it
it's easy. It's just super easy.
so easy.
That's
So
that's
easy
what
to
I like
clean
about it.
after.
Yep. We are not being paid any promotional consideration by George Foreman, but if they'd like to, call us.
Yeah, send me the bigger one that I can make
Yeah.
four burger patties
Right.
on.
They out. Have you seen like don't they have like an outdoor one now too that you can like it's basically it looks like a regular grill, but it's just a plug-in George Foreman.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
think they
That would be
do.
nice.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
have I read that I could have a grill on my patio out here. I want to
Yeah.
get one. But the
Get
George Foreman
yourself
is so
get
easy. I
yourself
make
if
everything
you're
on
gonna
it.
get yourself if you're we're gonna get a grill, I would say get a little pellet one. Like I think Ninja makes a smaller size pellet one, and they're just so
Oh
much easier to
yeah.
operate, because they're plug in, you turn it on, you turn it off,
I
it's
really
just
want
so
to get a
much
little
easier.
flat top like y'all. Like
Yeah, that's
I want a
nice. That's
flat
a good
top
too.
so bad. Brandon
Yeah.
making them the other day on his flat top. I was like,
Mm-hmm. Well,
man,
and
that's so easy too.
those are so versatile too because you can do burgers on them, you can do breakfast on them,
Chicken.
you can do like hibachi style on them. Like you can do almost everything on those.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
I
love ours.
even hibachi. I want one specifically so I could do hibachi because
Mm-hmm.
I do I do a pretty good fried rice on the
Mm-hmm.
stove, but I feel like the pan is just never big enough to like spread it all out,
Yeah, exactly.
you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So like then the rice is just never like that good hibachi like crispiness
Yep.
because the pan is not even my biggest pan, my biggest copper pot like
Yeah.
doesn't fry
It's
the
not
rice
big
as
enough.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not big
Yeah.
enough.
That's true. Yeah, and again, like to do that kind of stuff on one of those, so easy. So
Yeah.
easy. So, well, now that we've talked about every type of food for grilling known to man, and some that we don't particularly
Something that we
like, and
won't be going for at
anything,
your
yeah,
barbecue.
yeah, I will not be putting cow tongue on the smoker. So sorry, anyone who was hoping for that.
Yeah, for Father's
But
Day specifically.
yeah, so I think before we say goodbye, I think that we should take a minute to um, express our appreciation for those who have lost their lives in defense of the country. Some of them we have some family members that actually fall into that category back in our history. So um, it's just a good opportunity to thank them, which is what Memorial Day is all about. And yeah,
Yep, I agree.
all right. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and hope you listen again on Thursday. I don't know what we're going to do for game time, but I'm sure it'll be something fun.
Always, always is.
At least for us, it is, right?
Mostly because I win most of the games that we
Yeah, that's
play.
true.
But
Lately, yeah, I got to step it up. Okay. Bye, guys.
bye, everyone.